Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, the Cellar TV. So today we are trying a delicious wine, and honestly, I've never been so in love with a particular wine. It's shocking. It is utterly delicious and utterly rare as well, and just genuinely fantastic. There aren't many wines that I have literally sung the praises of from every building and in front of every person I've ever met. Like this one. It's a really fantastic wine, and I'll tell you just a little bit about the story behind this. So it's from Dario Princic, which is one of the leading sort of natural wine producers in the world. He's up in the Friuli region, up in the northeast of Italy. And he makes a few wines. He makes a red wine, which is made out of a few different grape varietals, including Merlot. And then he makes a few other, well, amber wines is what they call them, but we would otherwise call them orange wines. So white wines which have spent quite a bit of time on their skins, and so they get this lovely sort of orangey hue to it. And the good thing is that, of course, well, perhaps not of course, but most of the sort of aromatics from both red and white grapes are actually found in the skins themselves. And so if you actually ferment those grapes, the juice with the skins a little bit, or you sort of leave them to rest on the skins a little bit, then they will pick up more and more flavour. And so with a red wine, you're going to do that, and you have quite a long extended macerations there, and so you're not only picking up colour, but you are picking up all that flavour. So it's the same sort of process with making an amber wine or an orange wine, just with white grape varietals. So he makes his Ribolla Gialla, and he makes a few other sort of single varietal orange wines as well. He also makes a straight Bianco wine, which is a blend of things like Chardonnay and some Sauvignon Blanc. Now, what is really, really interesting about this particular wine is that it's a one-off, essentially. So this was from the 2008 vintage, and calls it Favola, is the name of the actual particular wine. What's interesting in 2008 is that there were just devastating consequences in all of his vineyards, and so 90%, or just short of 90% of his whole entire crop of all the grapes, not just like his main vineyard, but every single vineyard, completely devastated. So he couldn't actually use any of it, aside from about 10% or so. And that 10%, because he didn't have enough to really make up his single varietal orange wines, as Ribolla Gialla and so on and so forth, he decided to just make one cuvee, and that was this one for his white grapes. So this is actually a blend of Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, some Tocai Friulano. He's got some Ribolla Gialla in there as well, and perhaps a few other grapes too. And what a 10% this is. This is just delicious and utterly fantastic. It was only released quite recently, so after about, I think it was 8 years or so, he released it. So he spent a few years in his cellar, just sort of settling in and waiting to be ready, and it is just this amazing electric copper in colour. It is really, just sings to you. But my gosh, what a nose this has. It really is unlike anything you've ever smelt or tasted before. And on the nose, I mean, straight away, you get these really beautiful, fleshy nectarines. And it was interesting, I was trying this with a friend late last year, and she described it as sort of when you're sucking on, well, when you're sort of eating the nectarine and you're sucking off the pip, sucking on the stone, I should say, of the nectarine, and you're sucking all the rest of it out, and just getting those last little bits of nectarine juice and the little flesh out of the sort of pip. And that really nitty-gritty, that real, really, really fruity nectarine, yellow nectarine sort of flavour, and that is exactly what it is on the nose and also on the palate later. It is delectable, but I mean, there's just nectarine and sort of waves of beautiful sort of ripe peaches and sort of dried apricots and little bits of sort of blood orange in there as well. And there's just so much going on. So much going on. Really, really there is. And there's a little bit of sort of candied lemon going on there as well as quite a few sort of dried herb flavours. There's a little bit of rosemary. I'm going to say there's possibly a little bit of sort of thyme and sage in there as well. And it's fantastic because it's floral and it's fruity, and then it's also got these lovely herbal aspects to it as well. There really is just so much going on. And then on the palate, let's just give it a little try. full on body, yes. Has it got tannin? Yes, it has. But it's nothing too crazy at all. It's probably, possibly, I don't know, medium tannin also. But this lovely Chardonnay fruit and also the Sauvignon Blanc fruit that is in here is just zinging up the acidity. So it is so well balanced. So well balanced. And it's interesting because I didn't actually realize this when trying it just before, is that it is 14%. So it is quite a bit of a full white wine, if you will. Because most sort of the average white wine, I think, is about 12.5%, 13%. So this is a little bit more, but it just packs so much into it. It doesn't feel hot or heavy or anything else of this. It's just such a well-balanced wine. And here on the palate, it's sort of, I've got all these, just a plethora of flavors just running over. There's sort of sage butter and sort of grilled bread, and there's, again, that beautiful sort of nectarine, sort of cooked nectarine, that really nectarine essence, and beautiful, beautiful sort of grilled peaches and blood orange curd and all sorts of things just flowing over my palate here right now. And the finish, as you can tell, is just goes on for minutes on end. And yeah, this is fantastic, utterly fantastic. And as I said, I've never been so excited about a particular wine in my life. Anyone that knows me knows that I like wine, and I just like trying a whole bunch of different wines, as you do when you're passionate and interested in wine. And there aren't many wines that I'll just sort of go out quite happily and buy a case. I remember I was traveling up and around Italy, going seeing a few friends and also a few wineries and all the rest, and I popped in to go to Italy, which is Italy, the store is an Eat Ali, if you're not familiar with it, and please do. I loved it, and this was up in the Milan store, which is, I don't know, about 2 or 3 stories high or something like this, and they've got a whole story essentially just devoted to the greatest of Italian wines. And I saw this here and I picked it up, and it was, I don't know how much it was about 80 euros or something like that. So it wasn't, you know, it was a bit of a gamble, but I knew the Princic wines reasonably well, so I was like, well, you know, screw it. let's do it. Has to be good if it's that sort of price. And it did not disappoint. It was utterly delicious. And I said to the importer here in New Zealand, I said, look, have you got some? He said, okay, I'm going to get some coming over. And I said, I need some. I need it. And straight off the bat, I bought 6 or 3 bottles, I think, and then I bought another 3 bottles afterwards. And I almost drunk all of them. I'm not going to lie, of my personal stash. And there are only, I think there's only 1 or 2 bottles left in the country. We've had a few customers, as soon as we put it up online, just sold out like that. And so if you do want some, or if you do want the last 1 or 2 bottles, then please do buy right away, because they are going to sell. It is more expensive, it's about $140, but I tell you, you are not going to regret it. It is beyond your ordinary wine experience, beyond your ordinary wine. It is just delicious, and something that will actually get a little bit better when you warm it up as well. So don't have it as cold as your usual white wine, but don't necessarily have it as warm as your normal sort of red wine. Chill it down for about 20 minutes and then just sort of let it come up to temperature in your glass, and it is delicious. It really, really is. So look for it up online. So it's the Dario Princic Favola from the 2008 vintage. I don't think he's going to be producing this again. This really has been a one-off. So if you want your little bottle of history back home, then do buy now. All the information will be below, and link to the product there. So get in whilst you can. Yes, and so anyway, please do, if you have liked the video, check out a few of our other videos and do subscribe for more, because we're constantly posting up more content all the time. And of course, like and comment and share away and all the rest, and that's much appreciated. Anyway, I've been Connal. This has been the Cellar TV. Cheers.